Hey, everybody, we have an impromptu delivery of a retention system that is pretty centered around taking happy customers into business builders. And I'm really excited about it. We're recording it here today. The girls jumped on just to catch up, and they're going to stay for the recording. So if you're watching the replay, which is going to be pretty much everyone else, we are so excited to have you consume this content. If you have any questions, obviously reach out to your upline or myself. So, as we know, retention is the most important thing in what we do, only because, um, that's the longest piece of the process, right? We can prospect, and some people are going to take a long time to prospect, or they're going to stay in that sales cycle for a long time, moving into recruitment, obviously. But retention happens from the moment that they become a customer all the way to forever. And what we hope is that it is forever. We hope that it is, obviously, we're going to talk about turning those happy customers into people who are willing to share about the company. But in general, famously, I mean, I've had customers for 9, 10 years, and that's because the retention and the onboarding was strong from the beginning. And I'm going to give you the blueprint of that as well. There is a PDF that goes with this video. When it's posted, I'll drop that in the comments in our Messy Action group as well as our team page, and this will live on my YouTube channel. So it's obviously the longest process, and once somebody has a good product experience, a good community experience, and many company exposures, that's what sets the stage for long-term customers and turning them into sharing people who are sharing. So, while we're doing this, I want you to think about people that you've maybe not engaged in this way and how to engage with them. So the reason that this is important and how you can set the stage for this is you help somebody what's called anchor their story. You help illuminate their story. You let them talk about how they're feeling, and you remind them of good things that have occurred if they ever hit, some kind of a hard space in their journey. Throughout this, and as I give you the basically, we're going to go from day one into continuous invitations, and that'll make more sense when I move into that. The entire process of that is normalizing sharing as natural. You guys, we have a really great opportunity right now being in social selling, because people are always posting Amazon links. Here's the best sheets. These are my favorite jeans. It's natural. They're already doing it. We're all already doing it. It's very natural to extend excitement when something is going well. Um, and what we've always done on this team is create that low pressure first step. And what that looks like is, hearing about how they're doing and saying, this is a perfect example about what your social network might be interested in learning about. If I helped you with what to say, would you be willing to post it? So we've taken away the barrier of not knowing what to say. We've taken away some of the time barrier of like, I don't have the time to figure out what to say. You've excited them, you've celebrated them, and now we're going to walk them into sharing about that on social media. So, very, very important to create that low pressure first step. And guys, we have so many options with this. I know on our team, we're constantly talking about how to engage, or hey, this is a great time to reach out, such as when somebody buys the reset, they're going to join our team reset. Why wouldn't we ask them to put that on social media and say, hey, I'm doing this. Who knows if I'm going to die or not? But does anybody want to do this with me? I've got some coupons to share. Very, very low pressure next step. Everybody loves accountability. Or if they don't love it, they still need it. And so that's just part of this. Showing that tangible win. Again, when they're willing to post, then you come right behind them and say, just so you know, when 3 people buy this reset and join you, you're actually going to earn X amount of money. And I'd share the amount of money, but as we know with this month, September of 2025, it's a little bit different right now. So you would just, carry that burden, have that burden of figuring out the amount of money and sharing that That simple math, when three people join you to do the reset, you're going to earn about this much money. Isn't that exciting? Isn't this so much fun? Like, yeah, it's so much fun. So, and then what you want to do, especially as leaders, get really good at casting vision. And it's not just vision. You're going to have to weave in vision from the moment that they start, right? And even in the sales process, even in that prospecting process, imagine what it's going to feel like when you feel better, Sharon. Imagine you pain free, right? That's vision casting as a customer, vision casting as someone sharing. Imagine how good it's going to feel to, one, pay for your own product so that you're not a burden on your family's finances, but also that you're helping other people feel just as good as you are. Isn't that exciting, right? And casting that vision, and especially, this is obviously about product users, but from a standpoint of somebody joining the business, vision casting is absolutely astronomically important, to let them see themselves in that winning space, hold space for that winning version of themselves, and continuously talk to them about it. So, retention and sharing basically feed each other, especially in Plexus, because we have a great compensation plan and because we have products that work. So, the first point with this is that sharing strengthens retention. Absolutely. When a happy customer shares, they're deepening their identity with Plexus. They're no longer just a customer, they're part of a community, they're part of a mission. They've joined in the culture. And I do say that we have the best culture. I might be biased, but I think it's pretty rad. And I'm glad that you're here watching this video. And I'm glad that Nikki is here too, and she's part of the culture as well. Retention gives us those sharing stories. The longer that someone is on the products, the more layered their testimony is, right? Your first feeling of like, oh my gosh, I didn't pick up the third brownie. Like, this has never happened. I'm so excited. Into, hey, I got to quit my anxiety medication after, month 3 or 4. And oh my gosh, guess what? I actually started sharing and was able to cover my mortgage in year 2 of my relationship with this company. So, understanding that as the sponsor, you're kind of helping them gather this and helping document it as well. I don't think it's a bad thing for you to have these notes written down or have like a file on someone, right? Where you're just kind of jotting some things down. And this moves into that, invitations are retention touch points. And what that means is that, when you are like ready to ask them, or when you're asking them how they're feeling, um, obviously they're going to tell you, right? And by the way, we never ask somebody to post or anything without asking them how they're feeling first, because take it from me, I've made the mistake and rewind, bad idea. So always see how they're doing. How are you feeling? Tell me everything. I know the last time we spoke, this was happening. What's happening today? And let them share. Open-ended questions are king, queen, prince, and princess, all the above. And so once we get that, and they're like, actually, this, and this, you would then take that information as a gentle encouragement and say, babe, this is an example about what you could post on social media so that people can be excited along with you, so that you can be that beacon of hope. Because I know that you didn't think that this was going to happen. And I'd love for you now to stand in the gap of people who are where you were when you started, right? And you're just going to stand in that gap and help them get to where you are today. Are you willing to do that if I help you with what to say? Right? If I write what to say, again, low pressure first step. So sharing also incentivizes consistency. I don't know about you, but if I'm making money, honey, I'm gonna rock through that detox a little bit differently. I'm gonna muscle through that bag of that flavor that I bought that I didn't really love. I'm gonna make it work. And customers who share obviously usually want to be that leader to their friends, right? They're like wanting to have that best case scenario. They're not getting into the weeds with complaints. They're being positive and they're hoping that others can, come on board with them. So obviously the magic is that this cycles together, right? It cycles together. Retention really is, obviously, it starts prior to somebody buying. as you're speaking to them, you're giving hope, you're talking them through the products. And obviously, as they get started, what we're doing is we're helping them see themselves in the company. And I'm going to talk to you right now about actually what the system looks like. And again, there's a PDF that will accompany this video. I'm going to be explaining the stages, but just know that there's that PDF as well if you want to keep that, if you want to print it, that kind of a thing. But stage one is just that onboarding stage, right? Days 1 through 14. Onboarding actually starts prior to the purchase, but for this, that day 1 to day 14, you're welcoming them, right? As soon as they click buy, hey, let me know when check out with that cart. Let me know if there's any issues. I want to cheer you on. They tell you that I just did it. Oh my gosh, welcome. I'm so excited. So proud of you. You put yourself first. Like, this is amazing. I'm going to be checking in with you, but I want you to make sure that you let me know as soon as your products arrive. Is that okay? Right? Saying that exact way. Because how many times have we skipped the step and we get to getting in our life and we're like, oh, what's her name? Probably got her products like 3 weeks ago. Fail. Okay, so then we got to crawl back and be like, hi, how's it going? Right? We don't want that. We don't want that feeling. Okay, so they're going to tell you when the products arrive. Optional is either when they say yes and they're feeling excited, I'm going to let you gauge, or when they get their products, asking them to post about starting their journey, right? If they're willing to do this, I want you to see that as a sign that they're very open to the idea of the business. Not everybody's going to say yes. Where no's are free, okay? But optional would be something like, hey, hey, you got your products, how do you feel about taking a selfie with your pink drink and posting about how you're getting started? Or when they purchase, throwing up a post on social media and say, I did it, I jumped in, I'm doing this 3-day reset, they also have me on a gut health program, here's how I was feeling, the person that helped me join is feeling this certain way, I am so excited, I need a change. If anybody is in this space too, I would love, love, love to be doing this together. So comment or send me a message or react to this post, and let's go. And I also have some coupons so we can save a little money. Again, in this stage of day 1 through 14, you're going to have already added them into we're the wellness community. So we're going to add them into the wellness community. If there's communication about them getting their products paid for right away, or if they're open, or if something feels like they need to be supported on the business side, we're going to throw them into messy action. That's where they're going to see some action related, get to it kind of things. And then remember that you're always willing to celebrate, especially in that first 2 weeks. If you're checking in, and you want to be checking in on days, obviously, 3, 7, 14 of the products. If they're a touchier situation, more is not bad. And you want to do an upfront contract with them. And I know that my team has heard that verbiage. And that's where we just grease them up to know that we're going to be knocking on their door to get information. And it would look something like this. Hey, I just want to let you know that as you get started, I'm going to be checking in with you, and your communication back to me is critical about how you are doing on the products, how we pivot through any issues. Are you down with checking in, and where is the best place for me to do that? That's another barrier I've seen. So fun fact, if throughout the process they had lags in response time, it's a great question to be like, do you prefer text, or where is best for you? Just so that you know that. And then also, I want to remind you that this is a stage where a lot of us have been utilizing that JOT form. Okay. That JOT form can get kicked out to them after the sale. Again, another great reinforcement of commitment, how committed they are, what their interests are, do they want to get their products paid for? So I don't want us ever to use a resource in place of connection, but some of us are newer at sharing. not as comfortable with bringing up the business, haven't found our perfect verbiage. And so letting a resource like that kind of open it up for you is not a bad thing. So in this stage, this is where we start out strong. So like this is, if we're in track, okay, this is a sprint, right? We're sprinting, we're like, we're doing it. And we can hit the finish line of this onboarding stage 1 through 14 quicker than some of the other stages that we're about to talk about. And so that's what can be happening there. Moving into stage 2 is engagement. This is like basically weeks 2 to 4. This is where we're going to be inviting them to a call. We're going to make sure that they are engaged in our community in some way, shape, or form. I love at this stage if you tag them in something in the wellness community, but also, excuse me, we have so many Thursday options. Um, this coming week, we have a sleep option. Here's the thing, everybody needs everything. You don't have to gatekeep. Okay. If somebody has joined me from the prior week, I am, and this is obviously in that onboarding stage is what I do, but it doesn't matter. Find your own system that you love. But by week 2 to 4, you've invited them to 1 or 2 events that are happening already. Also, if you don't love the subject matter of what we're doing on Thursday, or sometimes on Thursdays we're driving into the corporate call is phenomenal. I had feedback from someone that, had been with several other network marketing companies. She was considering joining us, and she went to that call and she thought this is an incredible low pressure, well done call. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that because, she hasn't been in the culture. So inviting to something, inviting also to join a reset challenge, right? A deeper invitation into the community. And again, this is a great place to bring up the sharing again, right? Because you're checking in, how are you feeling? Like, let me know what's going on. Maybe they're really excited, or maybe they're having a health issue and they're really excited about the collagen. Sending a quick little blurb about the collagen. Hey, I saw this, I thought of you because I know that you're really focused on that, like hair growth, and feeling like you're looking a little bit more fresh. How have you been feeling? Again, you're kind of checking in and letting them tell you this is another bridge to sharing. You've already had this experience, and I'm inviting you to this Thursday event. You want to brainstorm a couple friends that might be interested in having some better sleep as well, because this would be a great low pressure way to kind of educate yourself and educate your friends at the same time. What do you think? Right? No's are free. Drop it in there. Okay. Then we move into the consistency stage, month 2 to 3, right? This is where we want to make sure that their subscription is tight. How are we feeling? Do we like our program? We want to just make sure, anytime you can do a voice clip and just cheer somebody on and not ask them to do something, remembering that retention is the long game. Okay. We love the new enrollments. We love going to Cancun. We love all the things. We love it. But the real winner, the real winning piece is literally the longevity piece. Okay? Like, I know that it's very popular to chase the shiny thing, but I can tell you that what we take to the bank is consistency and retention every time. Every time. Okay? So you're checking in. This is month 2 to 3. You've probably at some point, especially at the beginning, you're like, we really want you to give this 2 to 3 months to see how you've been feeling. Is this something that, are you committed, right? In the first 2 or 3 months, would you let me reserve the right to pivot your routine if something's not working? Will you let me make changes with you? And so we've arrived at month 2 and 3, and we're just finding out what they're noticing. The consistency and the subscription, tie in hand. And so the sharing conversation can flow naturally at this point because they continue to stack wins. And as the sponsor, you want to make sure that you're documenting these somewhere. Or, you know, like even if you like are in Messenger, you could probably create a little note where you pin it up to the top of the thing and you can go back and look. However you want to do it. Like, sky's the limit. There's a lot of flexibility around that piece. Stage 4 is retention to sharing bridge, in 3 months and beyond. So this is celebrating their wins, product wins publicly in chats or in groups, shouting them out in wellness community, saying, giving them some kind of a nudge, or doing it on your Facebook wall, I think is great. This benefits everybody when we can celebrate someone, and people love to be celebrated. People love recognition. If somebody tells you that they don't love it, it's because somewhere along the line in their history, in their childhood, they were shamed for liking to be told that they're doing a good job. Okay. I just want you to know everybody loves to be recognized. I'll like tattooed on my forehead, I swear. So just do it, right? Do it, do it, do it. And this goes for even when they're sharing ambassadors, even when they become leaders. The culture of recognition is not only for people working in the business, it's for people on the products. It is a cultural pillar that we have of is recognition. So don't stray from that part of our culture, because it will feel like an anomaly because we're all doing it. Um, Again, showing them the math. This is a great time around month 3. You've been doing great. Remember, if we could find 3 customers, your next 2 months of products are paid for. Is that something that you feel like you're ready to do? Okay, this is assuming that they haven't bit before now. Okay, and what I want you to see is that you cannot hold your validation or anything related to your worth on their yes or no at any of these stages. Because how many times did you tell your sponsor no? How many times did you ghost him or her? How many times did you say, I'm going to do that, and then you didn't do it, right? Was it her? Was it your sponsor? Or was it something inside of you? So what we have to do is, if we want grace, we have to extend grace. And so that's what we're doing here. So then again, providing an invitation script, and these are everywhere in our team. They're constantly being shared, tons of them in Messy Action, tons of them on boards. So there's a million and one ways that somebody could invite, and just easing them in, right? Again, a customer who shares has a higher emotional and financial investment, so retention will skyrocket. When you illuminate their story, they feel like they're a part of something. Just trust me and try this. Commit to what I'm saying. If you have not done something like this, start today. Like, you can start today. You don't have to wait. You don't have to say, "Well, I'll do it with my other new customers." No, everyone that has joined you deserves this type of TLC. So start giving it today. Okay. So the last stage is those continuous invitations. It's ongoing. And let's say that someone that you've, moved through this process, they do become a leader on your team. The invitations will not stop as they become a leader or a sharer. The invitations change, right? Hey, this is a great time to meet the upline as they become a sharing person. This is a great time to, send them something motivational, invite them to do a book study with you, invite them to speak on some kind of a team call, right? The invitations don't change. How about go get coffee? It doesn't always have to be about Plexus. It can be just a deeper, it's an invitation to have a deeper relationship with you, with the business, and with the culture. So again, monthly check-ins are not just like, how's it going? It's like, hey, especially in the scenario that they're not a sharing person, you go back, and for a perfect example, someone that it will probably be not watching this, so it won't matter. But I went to kindergarten with her. She's got an amazing testimony. She's amazing. I have no clue why she does not share. Is the dumbest thing ever. Anyway, when I check in with her, because it's been so long, I'm like, so tell me how it's going with your daughter. I won't say the name. Tell me how it's going with your daughter. I know when we last spoke, she was struggling with this, right? So again, it's taking that extra step to send the message, you are important, you are worth remembering, and you're cared for, because they could buy supplements from anybody. And that's the thing I want you to understand. If someone has said yes to you, that's what you need to base your worth around in this, right? And I know that some of us are struggling to get our yeses a little bit, but the point is that if you're watching this, I bet you've had at least one yes. And what I want that to signify to you is that I'm worth partnering with, I'm trustworthy, and I matter. And someone is willing to be vulnerable with me. Okay, we cannot take it lightly. We could look at this like we're just buying probiotics, or we could look at this at like someone has shared their intimate health details with me. I'm going to show up messy, imperfect, and I'm going to try to feel better on these supplements. And they've picked you to do that with. So instead of letting some things along the way give you reassurance that you're bad at this, reminder that the yes is the biggest indicator that you are doing a very good job. Just want you to know. Okay. Because guess what? Their self sabotage will kick in. But the beauty of the yes is really, really powerful. Self sabotage is a real thing. And I invite you not to shy away from hard conversations with people if you watch them sabotaging themselves. If you watch them tell you over and over that they're not remembering to take the products, right? Like that's a whole nother call that we're not going to go there with. But keeping them in the rhythm of the challenges. Oh, so and so loves this. Oh, we're having a movement and water challenge. Inviting all your obviously we use those things for potentials to draw them in, but that is a free value add that we can give to all of our customers. Like if you're not using that, that is honestly it's definitely making your experience harder because those things are already naturally happening, being run by a leader on the team who's excited to do it, and you get to sit back and enjoy some of these retention little jewels of retention without doing anything, and you're just in the group too, and you're doing your steps and you're drinking your water. So that's what you need to know is that at stage 5, it's always continuous invitations that never end for the rest of forever. And fall in love with that process. Falling in love with retention and falling in love in sales, there is a hunter and a farmer. And a lot of times, hunting, and this is in traditional outside sales, but it's true for pretty much every sale, hunting for the sale, prospecting for the sale, getting the yes, da 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 da. That's the high, right? That's the dopamine hit. And the farming is less sexy, but very necessary, right? So I want to invite you to fall in love with the hunting and the farming. Because I remember a long time ago when I was in outside sales, they're like, oh, Sadie's a hunter, Sadie's a hunter. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter how good of a hunter Sadie is. If she can't farm, she's going to be on a hamster wheel. Okay. So get good at both of them. It's not like we don't have the option of not. Okay. So get really clear that this is how it goes. You need to do it, or you're going to be sitting at the same points forever and ever and ever. And you're going to be telling yourself you're doing a bad job. You're not doing a bad job. You need to throw that TLC back into these people, baby. They said yes to you. They want to be here with you. They wouldn't have said yes if they don't. So the big picture flow as we end is we're onboarding, we're getting those, we're documenting, and we're illuminating those fast wins for them. We're connecting them to resources. It goes into engagement. So that's when we're putting them into those events. We're inviting them to invite. We're educating them. We're tagging them in information. Consistency, subscription, layered wins, continuing to help them create that layered story. Obviously, this is a great time if they haven't bit yet. We're moving into sharing just based on the math. Hey, you've been a part of, you've been on these products for 3 or 4 months. Here's what you would make. Is this something you're open to? And those continuous invitations go forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I love you guys. I know that this is going to, once you incorporate this and move this back into how you're supporting your customers, the sky's the limit. And you're going to be farming your way to strong business builders who love the company and love the products and love partnering with you.